ladies and gents, welcome to CEO Meets. My name's Pip Wilkins. I'm the Chief Executive at the British Franchise Association, and I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Nick Williams from Ashtons Franchise Consulting. So Nick, first up, you've been an affiliate member, you've been around the industry for a number of years. Talk to us a bit about your background and what Ashtons actually do.
Hello, Pip. Well, firstly, just to say, lovely to be talking with you. You're relaxed from your holiday. I'm semi-relaxed from mine. Exhibition coming up, life is good, and franchising is good, and all of that sort of transfers into us and Ashtons. Me, well, 22 years in franchising, started by accident, really. I'd been with Barclays Bank and risen through the ranks to the point where they decided to make me redundant. That point at which they want to take layers of management out. And along the way, I'd lent money to franchised businesses and I'd lent money to franchisees. And I'd come to know something about it because of the presence here in Norwich, which is where we're based, of a business called Franchise Development Services. And the founder of it, a guy called Roy Seaman, was a prominent promoter of all things franchising.
Yeah.
And so I was on the point of leaving the bank. My mind was open to any opportunity, and I saw an ad for wanted somebody to sell, explain, and deliver consultancy to emerging businesses specialising in franchising. So I thought, oh, this is jolly good. Picked the phone up, only to learn that the job had closed that day. But I said, well, look, this is the situation, ping my CV over. Got a call the next day from his wife, Judy, with whom he ran the business, went in to see them. He said, yep, and started me in the business. Now, I think you and I met probably about 6 months after that. Mm-hmm. I remember being sent as an emergency replacement for our man, Gordon Patterson, who was based in Reading, to do a seminar that the BFA was running. And I was given Gordon's slides. I'm 6 months in. I really don't know anything.
I remember it.
And you were there. There was a bunch of people who wanted to know about franchising. I'm standing there, literally reading from the slides, trying to add a bit of value, not knowing what the heck I was doing. And you were very kind because you were doing the administration on it at the time, weren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I, funny enough, came across a job app for franchising too, and that's how I started the BFA. Probably no more than a year or so before you. So
yeah. And so there we were. You and I knew 22 years ago, and my time through franchising has been fantastic. People talk about franchising as being, if you like, a vacation, or it's a family, and it's all of those things. And if you get it, you get it. And I have really got it, and I've loved it. And it's taken me all through the UK. It's taken me to all the major exhibitions for franchising in Europe, time and again, to the States. I've learned a lot of stuff. Met some really interesting people, some interesting brands. And the great thing about what I found when I was in banking was I ended up being in a situation where I was running a team of branches and people. I never saw a customer. In fact, the only time I saw a customer was if they were fed up about something and wanted to make a complaint. So I'd lost that connection, which is what I liked about banking, which was dealing with people and businesses.
So franchising is all about people, and it's about people that are looking to come in and find a future in a business sector that really works. So talk to me a bit about the services that you deliver at Ashtons for both new and established franchisors.
We'd start from the very beginning. People sometimes phone up and they say, and you've heard this one as well, I've got an idea. I want to franchise this idea. Whoa, steady on, old chap. No, not yet. So we start from that point where we may just do no more than spend a day with a business person talking about how to structure their business from the very beginning so that it can be franchisable once they've reached a state of maturity. And as we all know, the state of maturity requires really that the brand is proven, profitable, established, got some methodology, isn't too dependent on the founder, and has got some traction in the marketplace so that consumers are interested in the proposition. So what we work with is essentially businesses that want to grow through franchising. They don't want to invest further in people, premises. They maybe don't have the financial resource to reach their goal, but they can do that by reaching out through franchising. And so we help them first to look at how ready they are, what systems may be lacking, what they know, what they don't know. We'll help them do a feasibility study. And for some brands, that stops there. Now, it's interesting because we started a new guy in our company. When I was talking to him yesterday, we were talking about the process. And he said to me, well, how many people go from that first feasibility study into the development stage? And years ago, I reckon 1 in 3 would have done, because there were an awful lot of people who didn't know much about franchising at all. They were perhaps optimistic, bit dreamy maybe. We did a first piece of work. They realized how much they needed to do, and they stepped away and never took the next step. But education of people, would-be franchisors, is so much better now with the course that the BFA run through the Prospective Franchisor course. People are more prepared. There's much more to see and to read. So we now find that the majority of people that we do that first feasibility and planning stage with go on to the development stage. So the second stage is we help people to prepare their infrastructure, training program, manual, yada, yada, yada. And then we take them through to preparing their recruitment strategy, marketing campaign, and teach them how to franchise and to be a franchisor and to recruit and support franchisees. So we deliver the whole piece. We are partly owned by Ashtons Legal, which is a BFA affiliated legal company. And that's been the case since the end of 2015, when the former company was sold. And at that point, I became the managing consultant and run the business for them. That relationship enables us to be one-stop shop. But we're very careful and want to tell everybody in the world that we're not affiliated to a law firm in an exclusive relationship. We've worked with many of the great and good franchise lawyers in the UK, and we'll continue to do so. It's the client's choice. But a lot of clients will like that one-stop shop.
The one-stop shop, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, you know, we always say the last thing you need when you franchise your business is the lawyer, because you need to have that infrastructure in place. But it means that there's a seamless transition, doesn't there, from the consultancy to the legal side in order to make sure the right documents are in the right place.
Absolutely so. And what we have gained from this is a lawyerly approach to looking at some things that we previously looked at purely in a consultancy style. So we've gained from them. Equally, they've gained from us. They didn't realize how much preparation work was undertaken before a brand was presented to them to produce the agreement. And so we work in great harmony. So we work with emerging brands looking to franchise, helping them to establish. Sometimes we stay with them for long. In fact, more and more we're staying with brands for the long term, acting as their mentor, their coach, continuing to help and support them in the recruitment stage. But then we work with established franchisors as well, where perhaps sometimes people have used non-BFA consultants who haven't done much of a job. They've got started, they can't get any traction. What are they going to do? Give up? Well, hopefully not. But if we can square them up and set their course afresh, then we work with businesses of that type. We work with franchisors who are mature, and maybe it's been a change of management. They want to readdress the way they think. And sometimes it's good to have a fresh set of eyes to come in, question what you do, why you do it, how you do it, and bring some experience from another sector to them. So we work with those.
It's absolutely fundamental in whatever part of your business that you're in, to have that kind of trusted partner, that kind of coaching, mentoring relationship, to be able to help somebody really structure out and look at things in a different way, isn't it? That's the key thing. It's a different set of eyes.
Yeah, and I tell people, we are not prescriptive consultancy. We don't say this is how it's got to be done, but we tell people, look, here are your options. This works. This may not work. This thing you want to do has not been tried, so here's the risk on it. Do we want to go down that path or don't we? So we're here there to really support people and help them to do the best and be the best that they can be.
What about franchisees, Nick? Do you do any work with the potential franchisees?
Yeah, we do. It's a funny thing, because we've actually found more and more people who are potential franchisees coming to us. It's really daunting, isn't it? You're a potential franchisee. You've got an amount of money, and you've only got that amount of money. Maybe it's redundancy, it's an inheritance, or it's savings. You want to make a lifestyle change. You've got to get that right. And everybody's out there clamoring in the marketplace at in websites. There are good franchises and not so good franchises. We know that. So what we do is we help to support the potential franchisee, and we offer them. Some people come to us, what should I go into? So we help them to look for something that's the right fit, based on their skills and their experience. We guide and support them through the recruitment process. We coach them really to present themselves well, because what people forget when they are a potential franchisee is they're standing there saying, Mr. Franchisor, I'd like to be your franchisee, but the franchisor has a choice. So with the potential franchisee has to present themselves in the best light. We help them to do that. We help them to interpret the information they get from a franchisor. One we've just done recently, but it's a strange thing, the franchisor presented some really complex spreadsheets in terms of financial information. It was bizarre, really. We had to really work hard to understand it ourselves. So what we had to do was to pick out of that what it really meant to the franchisee and talk to him in layman's terms so that he understood it. And we help them to do their due diligence. We help them to ask the right questions. We introduce them to high street banks for funding if they need it. We support and guide them. And we do that quite simply on a time-based approach. So, people draw off us as they need to use us. So they know exactly what's a bit like using a taxi. The more miles, the more it costs. But they always know where they're going to.
I have one final question, Nick. I ask everybody, but I'm going to ask it in a slightly different way, because it's normally a top tip for someone looking to invest in a franchise. But what would be your top tip for someone looking to franchise a business? And you don't need to say to use proper BFA affiliate consultants, because for me, that's a no-brainer. They should do that, because we see what happens if you don't. So your top tip for someone looking to franchise a business?
Understand the journey before you begin it. Understand what it's going to take in terms of time and money, and potential disappointment and extra involvement. When you start a franchise business, you're starting a new business, helping and supporting other people to be successful as your franchisees. And there's a real responsibility in that, because you're working with people and their aspirations and hopes. So take your time, get it right, and always think about the best interest of the franchisor. When they succeed, you succeed. And then you've got a lovely, harmonious relationship and another successful business.
Fantastic.
That's what it's to.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time today, Nick. It's been really nice chatting.
It's been great. Thank you, Pip. Pleasure.